And there we go. Now they're hot. Hello, how's it going, everybody? I forget we have a fire going in chat. So, hi, how would be, how would do, how is everybody? Welcome to a Reroll podcast where we talk about things. Today we're gonna talk about Lynn. Hey, Lynn. How are you
Yay!
doing?
Lynn. Who is Lynn? What is Lynn?
What is Lynn?
Why is Lynn?
I was about to say, I'll give you one better.
Why is Lynn?
The mic just starts fuzzing up real bad, and yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
that's all you get.
So, just letting you guys know that we're continuing with our initiative chair section of the podcast where we just like ask our bros here a couple of things. We'll have one more person, then we'll take a small little break because we need to submit some new questions to some new bros out there, which I'll talk to you guys about that later because I haven't told you all yet. So
Keeping secrets from us? How dare you?
It's called I don't know how to do meetings. So let's
We'll have a meeting about that.
we had a meeting about holding meetings, and the meeting was not upheld. So, just a little inner workings of how we work here at DNC.
Oh boy.
Since this is primarily done on Spotify and on Anchor, just so you guys know, we are part of an Anchor program that if you want to subscribe to Anchor or our podcast, you can totally do that and support us that way.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, right? Super, super cool. Or if you want to support us on Twitch, you can support us on Twitch. Or if you want to support us on Patreon, you can support us on Patreon. Whatever you want to do. We're whores. Give us the money so we can buy bread, please.
Hey, I don't like labels,
Okay.
but I do like bread.
I don't like labels on my bread.
So all homemade, duh.
Yeah, obviously homemade. Let's see who's all here. We have Jeremiah. Myself, we have Tabitha, Lynn, obviously, Vic, and we have Dickie as well. So we have a beautiful cast of faces and sounds, because you can't see our faces at the moment. So before we get into,
assume we have faces.
well, how brave be to assume I have a face. Before we get into the conversation of poking Lynn with questions. How is everybody? How is life? How have you guys been for the past forever?
Had a good day today.
Okay, I'm glad that you're having a good day. How many shots have you had? Was that a number? Oh, okay.
You know, yeah. A good healthy, yeah.
Okay. I
Lynn's
forgot.
high on life right now.
Oh, I mean,
And maybe a few other substances.
I was gonna say like I can get you high on some other things, which like
Life?
yeah, life. I mean, it's a sure we can call it life if you want.
Yes, Cole, life.
Bold of you to assume.
You went to DruidCon, right, Cole?
He did.
We went to the same DruidCon? Okay.
He did.
I got attacked by a hawk at work.
For real?
That was fun.
What?
Yeah,
Again?
it was the video I sent you.
Okay, I was gonna
And
say,
then,
is it the same
this
hawk?
week- Yes, it's the same one. I filmed it and I was like, hey, that's a big bird. That's a big bird. And then all of a sudden it flew at my face and then it cawed as it flew away from me.
It almost carried Lynn off.
Oh my God, Lynn, you're almost prey.
Yeah. And then I found a really cool mushroom and then I went to tap it and then I broke it.
That
that
happens.
was sad.
Yeah, that happens.
Poor mushroom.
Oh no.
R.I.P.
I bet the Addy in you was like, oh.
Yeah, it was circle of life.
Yeah.
It just taps it, breaks as it goes.
Just letting you know that out of all the animals that I own, Cinnabon's actually the largest of them. And he is the size of a loaf of bread. So just so you have that picture in your head. And my backyard has no fence, and it's right next to the woods. And there's hawks and big birds of prey that like to fly around, and they keep eyeballing Cinnabon, and it's hilarious and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, I too like to eyeball loaves of bread.
Is your cryptic form just like hiding inside like panaderias and just like waiting to attack?
I mean, yeah. When the
Like-
lights go down, I kind of crawl out of like the ceiling and I just start making bread.
It's like the Bagman meets a chupacabra, but like with bread.
Yes.
It's bread bag. It's bread bag. Man.
bread bag. The bread bag man. Rick, I'm the man artwork of your true persona, the bread bag man.
I don't like to be perceived, so I will take any form of art anyone makes of that.
There you go.
Of the bread bag man. Thank you.
Everybody.
I
submit
also
your
demand
art.
my own creepypasta page too, so thanks.
Oh.
Just crawls out of like bread bags and bread boxes.
I crawl out of like the flour bags and I just start.
You joke, but I'll make requests on all of our discords.
I will say that I have eaten moldy bread and not died, so
That's
I'll
because
nail the moldy bread.
it heals you.
You are the mold.
I
God.
am the mold.
That's how the bread bag man travels
Yeah.
through the mold.
Through mold. Instead of through
Through
bags
the-
of
through the
holding,
mold.
it's just through the molds. Like
I gotta write some notes and some stats for next game, guys.
I got
God.
sags for the bag man. If you want to just edit it to a druid.
There you go.
Don't worry about it.
Addie's cousin.
Addie's cousin.
When the yeast starts to rise from the bread,
That's when
bread bag man rises as well.
we need like children singing in a choir, humming to the bread bag man. So speaking of spoilers in our future games, we play some RPGs. Currently we are Vic is DMing for the Rise of Tiamat. We're in a spooky forest. We got some cool bros that are guest playing. For our Arthurian Tales, our party members met the real Merlin, and not just his familiar, who has been teaching them bad magic for 4 years for some of them.
That's higher education for you.
That's exactly how that
Yeah.
works.
That's why Cyrus didn't learn anything.
That's exactly how that works.
What did you learn? That I'm $30,000 in debt?
I learned to what a J cut and an L cut are. Sorry if that's a deep cut there, Vic. And then
Hey, I learned what a dolly was. Thank you.
Oh, good. Did you learn how to do a dolly zoom?
I did actually.
Oh, fun. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
For our Star Wars 5th edition game, the party has learned what Project I-71A is. And for our Vengeance and Vigilantes game, we have agreed to join forces with the government. And currently we have the Spear
the
of Power.
government's called boss.
The government called boss, exactly. And we currently have the Spear of Power, which is
And
very...
you're also trapped inside the town that has a dome.
Yeah,
We're in a
that's-
graveyard.
Yeah. How
But you
spooky.
did capture some villains,
Yeah,
We did.
but now you got to figure out where you're going to put them.
I mean,
I'll just stick them on my body.
to not consume the villains. We're not allowed to kill.
That's a little too late to say to me.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, like Batman, you're not allowed to kill.
Exactly. So if you want to catch up
I'm
on
nothing
all
like
of
Batman.
these games,
For one,
that
I'm
we do-
broke.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Batman believes in capitalism.
I'm in
So-
I'm in the STEM programs. I'm broke as shit.
Oh.
Not the bad guys
do-
that
do- do-
Batman deals with.
I lost
was
my
gonna
tenure the second I
say,
lost my face.
tenured and face at the same time.
Yes,
Oh.
in that order.
In that order. So, speaking of order, hey, Vic and Tabby, you have questions. So both of
Yeah,
you
we
guys
should-
submitted the questions at the same time. I think Tata just said, "Here's our questions." So I don't know which one is actually going toward which
Oh, I know which
person.
one's
So-
But
so-
for this
so we,
one, I know who sent which.
Yeah. So we were literally doing our questions at the same time because I don't know if anybody knows this, but we kind of live together.
Oh wow, what a
Who
mistake!
to know?
I'm so shocked.
Shit, the veil has been lifted. The illusion is shattered. Yeah, so we just submitted our shit together. We made up together. For my question, I kind of want to alter some things because I remember talking about this with Lynn either on a demiplanes or just after demiplanes when we're just,
Talking
shooting
about
shit.
that. Yeah, yeah.
I think it was on a demiplane.
I think it was on a
Episode.
demiplanes too. So, with this in mind, if you want to talk about it again, you can. The whole what made you decide to turn Alistair into a webcomic, and I want to add on to that. What do you want it to? What do you want this to mean for you? To you, I should say.
So, Alistair, as some people know, he was my backup character that my old DM challenged me to make that was something out of my realm of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he became a thing. And I never had an intent, like, to actually play him in any games, but he was an NPC in the world that Grayson's original campaign was playing in. But I still like to draw him, and I would draw him a bunch and put him on this Facebook group that I used to be in, and just put him on there and like him doing silly things. And I constantly got the question of, does this man have a webcomic? If so, where can I find it? And I kept having to tell people no until eventually I got sick of people asking, so I was like, fine, I'll do it. That's how that happened.
Aww.
And as far as what I want it to mean to me, I just want to tell a story. I first got into D&D not as a player, but as a DM. And that was a mistake, first off. But I had this entire world created and like the scenario created, and the group I was playing with played with it for a little bit, but the group eventually dispersed. So I never got to like finish fleshing it out.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of like retaking everything I had originally and being able to translate it again into something else with the help of Vic, obviously, because I can't like write the things. It's all in my head, but I can't articulate it into a format that has words.
Yeah.
So, and plus like all the plot holes and like weird things that I have Vic to bounce off of. So it's kind of like a collaboration of that as well as me and Vic being friends.
Yeah.
Because I remember being like, hey, do you want to put West in the comic too? And now it's basically our dumbass adventures of our two characters.
What a dumbass. Meta dumbass.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a personal project for me. For real. Yeah.
Which I say we're experimenting with the new format right now as we're kind of putting like the plot stuff together, because realistically working on a webcomic all the time is really fucking exhausting, especially if you're, drawing, coloring, doing all of that just constantly. It burns you out super quick. So in order to explore the story and the characters more, me and Lynn are deciding to write it out fully as like a whole, in a whole novel format just for us to read and use as a point of reference. And it's a lot of fun to put together right now.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Alistair started as me being annoyed, and now it's, just a fun little thing that I've always wanted to do. And now I'm doing it, and it's fun. It's great.
I'm sure Alistair has annoyed a lot of people at the beginning.
So, yeah.
I think it's your turn.
Oh,
You're just
I'm just listening. Just
You're like, what?
so my question, Lynn, is what is your favorite cryptid?
My favorite cryptid is, it's called the Fresno Nightcrawler.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yes.
I fucking knew it. Of course it would be legs.
It is. It's just, it literally looks like a pair of like bow legs that just kind of skitters across Fresno. And it's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
It's just Grayson.
It's creepy. I don't like it. But yeah, if you look it up, they have like videos of them like walking around and stuff, and it's literally just a pair of legs. And it terrifies me. Yeah, please do. please subject everyone else to the
Not to
horror
make it
of the
creepy, but
Fresno.
I know that there have been people that have tried to debunk the Fresno Nightcrawlers, and they have not been able to like replicate like their walk at all.
It's probably completely bogus, but I just think they're creepy. But yeah, it's like they're just these white like bow legs that walk around the desert.
Again, I'm telling you, it's Grayson.
It's I think they're actually really tiny.
He makes a really good argument.
So it's your missing pair of legs.
Leg.
Is that hello?
Oh, hello.
Outside your
crawlers
right
here
now.
for me.
How dare you tell people our secrets?
Yeah. Fresno Nightcrawlers, creepy.
Creepy as hell.
Creepy stuff. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Alrighty.
It's a good choice, actually. I know everybody immediately just goes Mothman.
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 Yeah. You mean Batman? Mothman's.
His Batman.
Mothman.
It's Batman. It's Batman. But
the idea of cryptids in general are fun.
Oh, for sure. I was just actually listening to a podcast on the way home today about the Winnebagos.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
Winnebagos has
and horrifying.
Some controversy at the moment. What exact does a Winnebago mean?
What?
There's some controversy in the crypto community about what Winnebagos actually mean and what they are.
They're obviously indigenous folklore.
Yeah.
In part of that culture, so that's what they mean to me.
Yeah. I'll just say they're creepy and then leave it at
that. They are
that.
creepy as hell. I mean, they are the embodiment of evil spirits. So.
You know.
And
as
also,
one does.
Cannibalism is scary.
As one does, you know.
As one does.
Hey, Jeremiah.
That's me.
I
wasn't muted. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, you has question.
I have a question. If you can reimagine one or all of your D&D characters, what would his or her race or class be, and why?
I feel like Grayson would have a couple levels in Warlock just because of obligation.
Just because of
obligation.
I mean, you literally made that a canon thing in Horde of the Dragon Queen.
I know, but he never took a class. He never took levels in Warlock.
Well, because Gala's whole thing was just like you don't know what it's like to have your soul bound to an infernal being of hell. He's like, oh honey, I'm married.
I know. Yeah. I think that's the only thing I'd change. Again, because of the circumstance that he's in. But when I make characters, I really think about their class, their subclass, their race, and how that influences them as a character. So if I were to change any of that, it would change the character entirely. Yeah. So I wouldn't change any of it just because I like them how they are. But if I had to pick, Grayson would actually have a couple levels in Warlock because he made a pact, kind of.
There's 4 examples of his pact.
He said,
he
"From
made a pact
death to us part."
He made a pact.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't think of like any situation where I would change them to where it wouldn't change the character dramatically. Like if I like, for example, if I were to take, Addy and make him a full-blooded elf, that would change his relationship with his father, with his mother, with the entire Druid clan, probably.
His outlook on life.
Oh,
yeah, pretty much. So, yeah. I wouldn't change them all.
All right.
They're perfect.
My babies are perfect as they are.
That's just Grayson talking about his children.
Yes, they're all perfect.
I mean, you better say they're perfect. Both parents will get very mad and will act very differently and one more aggressive than the other, and it's not who you think it is.
You don't tell Phoebus that he's perfect right now.
It's Phoebus that will be aggressive.
Chris is like, I know Meteor Swarm. All 10 targeting you. So hey, I have a question for you, Lynn. If you can give independent artists out there and people who are starting to branch out and do their thing, what message would you give them? What I guess helpful tips from someone who's been there and done it?
Save your files often and be kind to yourself. Social media, especially with art, like artists, whether it be like acting, voice acting, like visual art, music, whatever, it's brutal. Especially when you turn something you love to do and you have to start like doing it for people. People can be jerks and like tell you you're doing stuff wrong, and it doesn't matter. Like, I guess the thing that I had to learn the hard way was that likes and followers and comments and all that views don't matter, because it's going to be something that you will never be satisfied with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way you got to look at it is that an opinion's like a nose. Everybody's got one. Some
Yep.
are pretty and some are not. But I mean, you just got to figure somebody's always has something to say. So,
Yep.
And also in the writing world, they're brutal too.
Yeah. Any type of like art form pretty much has like the same problem, especially nowadays where you're expected to create content and you're no longer seen as an artist, you're a content creator. And it's hard. And I don't know, I just say just
Go ahead.
don't take it to heart.
And understand most of the people doing the complaining and putting you down, stuff like that, are people that want to be where you're at but are jealous.
Oh yeah. And you know, everyone's like level and journey is different, but always keep moving forward, but don't be afraid to reach back and help someone who's behind you. Be kind. There's too much hate. There's too much like hate.
Yeah.
Don't gatekeep on a craft. It's stupid.
It is stupid. Yeah, like
Yeah.
everyone needs to support each other. And a thing that I actually like started to do was I get kind of jealous of people. Like if they have really good artwork, I'm like, God damn it. I get really mad. And I know I'm doing this, and I try to make it a thing to where instead of getting mad, I leave a really nice comment instead. I'm like, your artwork is awesome. And usually they'll read that and be like, oh my God, thank you so much and stuff like that. And then it makes you feel good. And it's spreading positivity instead of being an a-hole.
You're retraining that brain to help others.
It's a very
Yeah.
Alistair thing.
Yeah.
We could all learn a lot from Alistair. We really can.
He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
In many, many ways, be kind to one another.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. There's too much like crappy things going on in the world with
Yeah.
literally everything. Might as well make, you know, the vibe around you a good one.
And everybody's always going through something. Like maybe somebody's being an asshole because they're having a shit day and they don't know how else to process it. So maybe that one little comment might actually help them rethink some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
We could all use a little kindness.
Yeah.
As the person who says all the kind words all the time, here are just as questions for you. Hey, first one. What is the one thing you wish you could change about Grayson? Which I think you already said nothing to that.
Hold on. I have something to say about that.
Okay.
Oh shit. Here we go.
First off,
Yes.
why does everyone think I want to change Grayson? For one, he's perfect.
Oh no! Don't ask me these.
No, I feel like everyone thinks that I would say, oh, I would make him not have a -2 to his dex, which is incorrect, because that terrible roll for his dexterity has made such an impression on him as a character.
Yep.
It's so much fun. It's going to be awful every time I have to roll his dexterity, but something always fun happens. And I think that's like that's the best part about flaws, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like drunk Grayson trying to get on a horse.
I loved that.
I want to ride the pony. But yeah, like I think he's great. Like I love the fact that he has terrible dex and it's like a joke.
That dexterity is what gave him children.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I specifically remember this moment where Lynn and I were doing rolls for it, and just as a joke, we're like, all right, how's this pullout game? And Lynn rolled and legit got a fucking 0, and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, it was he rolled like a nat 1 and he got a -1.
Yeah.
With his it was a
We're
mess.
like, oh.
Oopsies.
Quite literally, oopsies everywhere.
Oopsie
Yeah.
daisies.
Yeah, I mean, like flaws, like quote unquote flaws like that is fun to play around with. Kind of like, for example, like on my Wednesday campaign, Cyrus has like 0 perception and 0 wisdom, and he's this
Fun.
big old knight, and he can't see anything because of his helmet, basically.
That's funny.
Or with that Star Wars 5e game with the Wookiee. He can understand all the language, but what can understand him?
Aw.
Except Tabitha's character.
I mean, it's like how we have Alistair and Wes. They're big, strong, beefy guys, but oh my god, can you hear the wind whistle between their ears?
Yep.
See, like I wouldn't change things like even like stats or like personality bits or anything like that because it makes the character fun to play.
Yeah.
Fun situations to accidentally get thrown into, and it's fun to interact with. But yeah,
Agreed.
Grayson's perfect in every way.
Yeah,
So.
of course. Perfect.
Coming from Grayson himself.
Coming from Grayson. Channeling through. So here's another question for you. How do you make up characters in your mind? What is a process you go through before you create something?
So I will tell you, the process is a lot of what if and like cause and effect. And I will tell you this because of how I made Irian. So Irian, like I like the idea of Irian because I was like, you know what? I'm probably never gonna play a ranger ever in a campaign because I don't like them personally.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually make a ranger and we're gonna see what happens. So I was like, okay. I actually random rolled his stats and his flaw. His flaw was that he loved alcohol. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, he's kind of a booze hound. Got it. Whatever. So I took that and I was like, okay, every ranger I have ever had the pleasure of having to draw or have like seen around have always been like the Strider, broody, in the corner kind of ranger. And I was like, I'm gonna make the guy who's the exact opposite. He's gonna be almost on Alistair level of like happy. So I was like, okay, cool. He's gonna be overconfident and he's gonna love alcohol. Great. And I was like, I'm also gonna make him a pretty boy. So he's gonna be tan, he's gonna be tall, he's got blue eyes and blonde hair. And I made him. I drew him out, and I just kind of looked at him, and I was like, okay, he kind of looks like my druid before he got his green skin. He looks like Addie, and I was like, what if this elf was Addie's dad? And then it kind of spiraled from there, and I was like, okay, that means he was with a human at some point, and then how did that happen? Maybe he, because of his alcohol vice, that's how he met the druids, and like it just kind of spirals out of control. So
It's a good spiral, though.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a lot of what if this happened, and then I think about the scenario and how it would affect everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And if I like it, I roll with it, and if I don't, I'm just like, okay, that doesn't work. So what's something else that we can do? So
All right.
a lot. But yeah.
But we still got Irian out of it.
Y'all still got Irian out of it, and you know, when I create characters, there is literally an explanation for every single thing you can think of. If you come up with the most random question about any character, I can answer it because I've thought about the backstory behind whatever.
So you heard that, everybody. There's a challenge.
What's Irian's favorite color?
His favorite color is red.
Nice.
Okay.
Is there any reason for that?
Because Lena's druidic animal is a fox, and she's a red fox.
A fucking course.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But like, you know, everything from why Alistair has his hair the way it is, why he has it in braids, or like Grayson's eyebrow scar has a backstory to it, or like why he wears thigh-high boots has a story to it. Like why he's got, you know, the white streak in his hair, why he has his hair long. Like there's just so much. Because I have a lot of free time.
I mean, it's fun to flesh out characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I flesh them out too much. And a lot of the time, it's not even going to show up in a campaign or any type of story, but it's just for me, because it makes the character a little bit more in-depth. Gives them a little oomph.
It brings them to life.
Yeah. Little tiny things.
All right. Last question from Jace. Which celebrity, and we'll see if the streak continues from everyone that's been answering this question this far, which celebrity would you want to meet and be like your BFF, and why?
Some of you know this, but I am very disconnected from like TV and movies. I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I don't like do any of that. So this was a really hard one, but I have an answer.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
I don't know if I want to be BFFs with this person because they're a little too chaotic, but I definitely want to have lunch with them and just see what happens. And that is Noel Fielding. If any of you know who that is.
I surprisingly know who that is.
Yes, I actually started watching, when I was a kid, I would watch Adult Swim a lot at night, and they had a show called The Mighty Boosh, and that's where I first learned about Noel Fielding.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that has the Grayson energy.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that was from the Mighty Boosh was where I got that audio for the Weston Carabao TikTok I made.
Yep. I think that man would just be fun to just have brunch with. Just of how absolutely absurd he is. But that was the closest one I could think of because again, I am 100% out of touch with like media.
I will say though, just to piggyback on that, Lynn, he has been a judge on the Great British Bake Off, and I can tell you he's a lot more tame in that show.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
He is. I know he fluctuates, but man, I love that guy.
I would just want to meet him in his goth persona.
Yes.
His goth persona, yeah. His goth vampire detective.
All right, that's a good. Yeah, chat's also saying that they love Nil. Hey, Jeremiah, for no reasons whatsoever, why don't you read Lee's questions?
No reason whatsoever.
For no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and then we'll go to a question from chat after that.
For your OCs.
Okay.
What's your darkest secret? And I believe this is more of a without breaking game or spoilers, especially for ongoing characters like Alistair.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Alistair's darkest secret.
Okay. Well, Alistair's darkest secret. I can't think of anything because he is a good boy.
He's
but
the best boy.
I think it would be something very, very innocent that he is like holding on and is like really upset about. Like he got scared and squished a bug and then cried for 3 days about it. Like something.
I think I have something, Lynn.
I know what you have, and we can't talk about that.
No. This is a personal experience that I want to reflect on to Alistair.
Okay.
All right.
Because I'm going to say this was probably a really Alistair moment for me. And you're going to remember this the second I mention it. But, one time, Tabitha and I went shopping, like, at a mall. And for the sake of my own safety, I will not say what store it was. But we were walking around and talking, and at some point, I must have picked up a pair of flip-flops because I was looking at them, because I was like, oh, I kind of need flip-flops. And then we just kept talking and kept walking, and the next thing you know, we walk out of the store, keep walking, go into the car. I sit in the car, I look down, I'm like, why am I holding flip-flops?
Oh, no!
That is a very Alistair thing.
And I just drove away and never looked back because that moment's gone forever and I didn't want to address it.
I will say, in the original campaign that Grayson and Alistair came from, Alistair was in jail at one point, so that could be a dark secret. And he also did breaking and entering quite a bit. He didn't know what he was doing because they're just like, "Hey, the door's broken. Can you get in through the window?" Sure, and he just kicks it down and crawls in, and then unlocks it for his friend. So,
friend, quote unquote,
friend / pirate lord / Grayson's ex. Same thing. Anyway,
we don't mention him.
Adipostairs, he's not the type to have secrets either. He's pretty much an open book. Like, it's one of those things where he won't talk about it, but if you ask, he'll just be like, yeah. The closest thing I can think of is that him and Rocco had a real quick thing, but we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's why
They'll
I'm
be
not
like,
talking about it.
all right, we tried it, it didn't work out. Nah. All right.
It happened one night, and then they get up and go their separate ways out the tent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Never speak of it again.
And Grace's deepest, darkest secret that he has never told anyone, especially not Dis.
Oh my.
He has dropped all 4 of his children at least once.
What?
I can just be like, don't tell your dad, don't tell your dad, don't tell your dad.
They really can't tell this about Kala.
Whoops, let's not. We're just gonna brush the dirt off.
Brush the
face.
hair to the side. Just brush the hair over.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh look, their skin's turning more red. Cool. That's. We're just gonna blemish. It's fine.
It's like that's a tiefling thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Maybe their horns are coming in. Cool. They're just gonna put that hair over.
He must have felt extra bad about Phoebus.
Yeah. I feel like well, it doesn't mean they were infants. But I feel like Phoebus was when he was more round and rotund, and like when he was dropped, it was just like a sack of flour.
He just bounced.
He bounced back to Grace's arms.
This just grabs the child. Hey, has the scar always been here?
Well, yeah.
This is secret is he drops them daily.
No, again from personal experience, I guarantee you all the kids have at least been hit by the top of a door frame all the time if this is carrying them on his shoulders, because that was me as a child.
Or I feel like Dis is also the kind of guy who's like, oh, you can't get to sleep because of your teeth are hurting. Here's some alcohol.
Yeah,
like,
put the binky in some rum. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Like, you drugged our children. They're sleeping, aren't they?
You're saying drug like it's a bad thing.
It's like, I drink it nightly, and it's a nightcap. But if I give it to my children, suddenly I'm drugging them.
God.
You're giving them alcohol? Sweetie, look around you. This is probably the nicest thing anyone's going to do to these kids.
Oh, no.
Like,
ouch.
You're in hell.
I believe this is again one for your OCs, but what motivates you to fight on even against insurmountable odds?
Grayson's is definitely his family. And he also still kind of wants to prove himself to his mother.
Big oof.
Still, yeah, big oof. So yeah, I definitely say that's for him. For Alistair, it's just because it's literally ingrained in his DNA. He likes to help people, and he also believes that there's always like a good side to somebody, whether or not they're aware of it or not, and he just wants to bring that out of people, and he wants to help people because he's a good boy. And then for Eddie, before Cole, I would say that his reasoning is to keep order. You know, the balance of life and death and whatnot. He's very into his job. So
he gets employee of the month.
He's employee of the everything. But now it's Cole. Cole's his reason.
Oh.
Aww.
Last question from Lee. What do you do to cheer yourself up when you're having a bad day? And this is for Lynn. not for your OCs, or for your OCs. It's a question for you.
It's... Grayson, drink a mimosa. Patty, probably poke at a dead thing. Alistair, just breathe air. And he's having a good day.
That boy always looks like he's having the best day.
Yeah, pretty much. For me, I like to paint. Like, if I'm having a crappy day, I'll usually, like, break out all of my acrylic paints and, like, a big old canvas and, like, paint something. Like, usually someone's face that I find on Pinterest. I just like doing that. I also, like, today, I had the best day ever because I just went outside. I laid down a bunch of beach towels with my dog, and I laid in the sun, and I read Frankenstein. It was the best day of my life. Like, I like quiet. I don't like having TV or like music or anything on, so just being able to like sit and vibe in my own silence is just great for me.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad,
like to take walks.
glad you had a good day, bro.
Yeah.
Had a great day.
Yeah, I'm glad that days are good.
I got a suntan. Kind of.
What's sun?
I don't know.
That's what I say all the time when I work.
I'm coming for you, Taylor.
Windows in the kitchen.
There's no windows in the kitchen.
Hey, someone knows how to read well. We got some questions from Chat.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I'll read. Hey, Lynn. This one's from Squidly. Which of your characters do you relate to the most, least, and why?
I relate to Grayson the most, just because he's my first character, so a lot of him is in me. I'd say Alistair is the least, because he's more of like the mindset that I want to be. Like, I just want to have the unbridled optimism that only a 6'3" himbo can have.
Yes.
That's all I want in my life, is just to be like so carefree and just be aggressively positive. But it's hard.
I guess to piggyback off of that, if Alistair could give you, and like, I know this is a terrible idea, but if Alistair could give you some kind of life advice, what would you want it to be, or what do you think it would be?
It's funny you say that, because whenever like me and you are talking about something or like a problem we have, we always be like, "What would Alistair say to you?" Like, that's just like our go-to. Like, what would he say about this situation?
I trust him to make my day better.
My favorite quote of Alistair's was, how'd that quote go? It was something akin to like, you know, you can always face the sun, but you're always going to cast a shadow. So like, you're always going to like look for positive things, but bad things are always going to happen, and it's okay.
Oh, like, yeah, that quote. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
sounds like a wrist bracelet you need to make. WWAD.
What would ask Alistair? He'll give you all personal life advice.
Yeah. But we should have an editorial section. Ask Alistair.
We should.
Like, Alistair, my husband's cheating on me, and he bought a boat, and...
Hey, bro, sorry to hear about your husband. That really stinks. Boats are cool. Maybe you should get a boat, too. Don't name it after your husband. And then he'll, like, love Alistair.
Oh, my God.
We need to have a PO box so that people can send these things, and Alistair in their handwriting.
That's a really good idea. I mean, we do have that letter thing we're trying to do.
Well, yeah, like, we'll do an Ask Alistair. I'll get Nick on the horn, and then he'll like respond in a voice message to him. It'll be great.
Oh,
let's do it.
This is fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing that we need. We need more projects. That's definitely what we need.
This is fun.
Adding more stuff to our schedule.
This is a fun project.
Assuming that everything else that we don't do that we're drowning in is not fun.
Listen.
Darling, listen.
Darling.
I'm only saying this because I'm having such a hard fucking time drawing a rapier right now.
Yeah.
Why are they so fancy?
Swords.
It's like instead of curving left and right, it just curves straight. Remember, okay? And it's thin.
You assume
So-
I know what straight is.
Oh, but So here's a question from Ryan. So Oedipus and Griswold. Don't know if you knew Griswold was his circle
Yes,
of
I did.
spores. Okay, so Oedipus and Grizzy are two different takes on circle of spore druids. That's not a question, my bro. Okay, so what drew you to the spore-filled goodness of the subclass? And are there any other overlooked subclasses that you think should be played more? So I guess what drove you to that? Why is he such a different druid? And then your opinions on subclasses.
So Adipisair was actually not supposed to be a druid. Vic will remember this, but I made Addy like a long time ago, and he was actually supposed to be a cleric. He was supposed to be a full-blooded elven cleric that he died, and his cleric buddies tried to bring him back with a botched necromancy spell, and he became an undead.
Yes.
And I kind of fiddled with the design a bit, and I didn't like it, but I kept the name because the name fit perfect for like the undead vibe I was going with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like 3 months or something of him just kind of like being a name and like this entity that was in my head, but I couldn't really wrap like a story around it that I really liked. And then I saw the Circle of Spores subclass, like that came out like around that time, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. And if anyone knows me personally, they know I'm really into anatomy, and it's like my favorite thing to draw. I love anatomy, I love muscles, I love skeletons and like skeletal structures, not in like a gothic way or anything, but in a pure like medical situation. Like I even like was considering doing like medical illustration at one point or whatever. And it was Addy pretty much was my coping mechanism for when my own father passed away. And it was kind of me trying to figure out how to deal with all of that. And when I am overcome with a lot of emotion, my go-to is to figure out why and like what the process is of like something happening. So being in like a very like death sort of vibe and trying to understand it, and then happen upon like a spores druid who kind of fit that theme, it was perfect. It was just like a perfect storm of things happening, and that's how Addy came to be a spores druid. So it was a ride.
Sound like it.
Yeah, it was a ride. But I like how he turned out. I like him much better than his original concept. So, and as far as subclasses that I think need more attention, I really want to see more the Dream Druids. I want to see more Dream Druids. I actually don't see those a lot, weirdly enough. Which is a shame because I think they're cool.
Interesting.
And I have Rocco, who is a Dream Druid, that I've kind of played with and like what he does, and I think it's really neat. But like with as much like character art I do for different people, I have yet to like see any Dream Druids, which is a shame because like I said, I think they're cool. They have a lot of potential. Anything that's with the Fae that isn't directly with the Fae, I like. Like they're linked to it somehow, but not entirely. I think it's cool.
I have actually not read anything from Dream Druid, and I should, because of someone in the future. But I need to look more into Dream Druids. They're really, really cool.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Dream Druids, like for some reason I guess they just got passed over or something. I don't know. Like everyone just immediately went to Wildfire and like Circle of Stars. I'm like, what about Dream Druids?
Hey.
I'm just saying.
Yo, I'm right here.
I'm just saying.
No, I know.
Not
I know.
just-
Fuck
not
you.
just-
I'm gonna go look at Dream Druids right now. Fuck you.
Not just you two. I'm talking about like in general the population.
Yeah, in all fairness. Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about the Earth Sorcerers or whatever they're called, the
what?
Sandbenders. and
Yeah.
shepherd druids. I thought shepherd
a
druids
shepherd druid.
were the best. Those are the best druids in my opinion. Like you
Raleigh's
are
a shepherd druid.
God help those poor animals.
I totally forgot she was a Swiftfoot shepherd.
Oh God forbid.
It was Junie though. Juniper is too.
But Junie's a good girl. Raleigh is. Yeah.
Anywho. Because I'm thinking about who, like, because I had a very specific individual when I had to tap into that character. I'm like, oh, if that person could be anything in D&D, they would also be a shepherd druid. Hands down. So the similarities continue, and it amazes me. But hey, Dickie, you has questions.
I do. And my first one is, what was the hook or the moment you knew playing RPGs would be in your future?
That would be when I played Call of Cthulhu for the first time. And what happened was I didn't play any tabletop anythings until I got into college. And I actually joined the college group, and it was like 30 people that would all meet every Friday night and just play games until the wee hours of the morning. It was so much fun, and I met a lot of cool people. And, after everyone graduated, everyone dispersed. And then I got a call from one of my friends. His name was JB, and he was like, hey, I'm going to run Call of Cthulhu. Do you want to join? And I said, hell yeah, I do. So we all met at my friend's house. We got obliterated by elder gods and eldritch hordes.
Yeah.
It was the most fun I ever had. And, eventually that group dispersed. And then one of those players, who is a good friend of mine who I've known for like 12 years, he was like, hey, I want to do D&D. So I was like, cool, I'll DM it. And that was my first intro into D&D. I DM'd. And then that group dispersed again, but us two remained. And then he started playing, and that's when I made Grayson. And that's when I was like, yeah, this is a thing I want to do for a long time. And then, I started drawing out my characters and posting them online. And then I started getting people wanting to give me money. And now it's pretty much my job. It's crazy. All because some nerds got together in college to play Warhammer.
Nerd power.
That's
Nerd power.
Yeah.
Nerd power.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember playing this one sci-fi game called Twilight Imperium, and we played the game for 12 hours straight and only got to round 9.
Oh yeah, the gigantic board game with yes, yeah. That's actually one of the most when I used to work at a comic book shop. We only carried 1 or 2, but every single supply we always had that was a very popular game that ran through.
It was fun. It was a long game. We had 12 people playing it at once. So every person's turn was 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but it was fun. And I started going to conventions and getting more involved, and now all this happened.
Now I'm
sorry.
It's not your fault.
That's a my bad.
Next question. At what point in your gaming experiences did you realize that RPGs were relatable to life?
That's a very specific moment that happened in Grayson's first campaign. And don't mean to bring down the house or anything and really make this a bummer, but in that campaign, Grayson kept an ongoing journal. And at the end of every session, he would be an annoying piece of crap and write down everything that he thought was going on, and trash talk all the other players and whatever. I have a Google Doc of it still to this day. And there was a point in the game where Grayson had found his father's body murdered in the field, and he found it, and he had to process all of that. And the DM unintentionally had this encounter for me on the weekend anniversary of my own father's passing.
Oh.
God.
he didn't know, and he apologized profusely. But I said it was fine. But you know, having to replay all of that in a separate, like kind of like in a third person perspective, was kind of cathartic.
Okay.
In a weird way. And you know, for my own situation in real life, I actually did the exact same thing my character did. I wrote out like a letter to my father like the night before he passed, and I made sure he like had that with him when he did his thing. Yeah. And in the game, I had Grayson do the exact same thing, and I still have that letter on the Google Doc. And it was kind of like, it was like my character talking to his father, like saying, "I'm so sorry for everything," and just kind of like lamenting. And that's exactly what I did. I don't know, like there was like kind of like a bridge that happened there that made me feel for Grayson even more so. And I don't know, it was kind of nice. And it's not a sad thing to me. It's a very fond memory. So there's a lot of life parallels happening there that were unintentional, but it worked out.
I'm very glad that you got to experience that. That's really cool.
It was nice. Like, I know a lot of like players really don't like that when something like that happens, which is I completely understand. But for me, it was very nice to kind of like figure out. And you know, I have Addie that kind of helped me with that too, like mortality and stuff like that. But it was nice. I think that was like a big moment for me when I realized how like important D&D can be, not just in game but like in real life.
Yeah, it definitely can feel like a good safe space for you to process a lot of hard feelings that you don't want to do it alone, but at the same time you don't want to have that kind of open vulnerability with anyone else. So doing it in the form of like a character kind of definitely helps along.
Yeah, and like with Grayson, like he was in a different like parental situation in general, but with his dad having the same relationship that I did, kind of, and I don't know, just being able to like reprocess it and like have a more thought out and like understanding of what was going on. I don't know. It just made it easier.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I has the last question that everyone has is, what does D&C mean to you? But I kind of broke it down a little bit further because of the situation on how you joined the group. It's a little bit different than everybody else.
Yeah.
Because you, if I'm understanding correctly, the Lynn's lore is that you and Vic became friends because of your art, right? And
literally a West pinup.
Yep, on your birthday.
Literally.
That's the best what's it called? Origin story out there. So how was it viewing us, I guess, from your screen at first to like joining in during Vic's birthday as well?
It's all to surprise Vic. No, it was interesting. It was definitely not something I was expecting. You know, Vic just kind of like kicked down the door of like this Discord we were in. I'm like, "Hey, we're going live," and I'm like, "Oh, cool, a thing to watch." And
just very aggressive. I'm like, "Go watch us play D&D now."
That's the aggressiveness we need.
And the only reason that we met was because it was your birthday, and I was like, "Hey, that's a cool character. He's real hairy. I want to draw him half naked."
He's already half naked by default, if not more.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh my God, sure, that sounds great." And then we contacted through that way, and then through mutual friends, we went into a different Discord and started text RPing the high school AU, and that's how Disgrace happened, which was an accident. Yeah. Because I messaged Vic and I was like, "So what if this happened?" And then it just spiraled out of control.
The chemistry got a little too real. It was scary.
Yeah, but it was weird. It's kind of like,
I remember in that role play, we were purposefully making them hate each other. Like it was like a whole thing. We're like, they wouldn't like each other.
Yeah.
They're complete opposites, and all of a sudden they just kept talking. And we're like, what is happening?
Hey man, sometimes
yeah,
opposites attract.
Like watching you guys at first, and then just kind of like, I don't know, like you didn't even know me, really. You just knew me through Vic, and then you started promoting the comic that me and Vic were working on. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And like the first thing, like, Jesus, you did when like I joined, essentially, you braided your hair like out. I'm like, what the heck? This is the coolest. And like I remember taking like screenshots and like sending it to people and be like, look, someone's dressing up like my character. I was so happy. And like Vic dressed up like Grayson a couple times on stream.
Oh
yes, I did.
Yeah, that was good.
It was unreal.
Because I didn't know Grayson like story back then. I was like just looking at me like, whoever you're playing, you put a lot of thought into this, and that looks really fucking cool.
It was cool. Like, and then like, you know, all of a sudden, like, I don't know, you all just kind of welcomed me with open arms, and I don't even know any of you, like in person.
That's true.
So it was crazy. And then, you know, me and Vic came from the same cesspool.
Yeah, we came from the same primordial soup.
Seriously though, like the weird small details that we have in common, or we're just doing something randomly and the other one's doing it at the exact same time. It's kind of scary.
It's that brain cell, man. Just like split.
I will never forget that moment when Lynn texted me, like super excited because they opened up a fruit by the foot, and it had 2 rolls in there, 2 fucking whole rolls of fruit by the foot. And right as that was happening, I opened mine, and I had the exact same thing, and I'm like, what is happening?
I'll never forget when we were watching The Witcher.
And we were watching it. We didn't tell each other we were watching The Witcher, and then I was just like, "Oh man, this scene is so cool! You need to watch this as soon as you can." You're like, "But I'm watching it right now." And we're like, "What? Where are you at?" And you gave me like your timestamp. I gave you my timestamp, and we were like, I think like a couple minutes apart. We're like, "What the fuck?"
I think we were like 2 minutes apart because we were talking about the exact same fight scene.
Yes.
And we're just like, "This is bizarre," but it happens all the time.
Yeah. What was the most recent one? I can't remember.
That was when we have the exact same response to something.
Yes.
That happens a lot.
It does.
But yeah, like watching you guys from a screen and then being like thrown into it was very fun. Also, Vic's reaction is always fun.
Oh, that was so priceless.
Always.
I just like Beast Boy.
It was Beast Boy. Yeah.
I just like Beast Boy.
I mean, where's the lie? I guess with all that, I don't know. Does I mean, I'm assuming that's the answer to the question, but what does D&C mean to you?
Friendship and support. For real. Like, again, like, y'all have been supportive of everything that I've ever done, and we haven't even met in person. It's cool. Y'all are cool.
Nolan, you're cool.
The rumor is true.
The rumor is true. All good times.
They were right all along.
The stars have aligned.
The butler did it.
The butler. Now, who did you hate before, and who do you hate now? No. What's the gossip?
So who's like your favorite?
Like who's your favorite?
Oh, hello, people in chat.
Hello. So who's your favorite, and why is it Phoebus?
Phoebus and his cheese. You know, like, Grayson had a completely different, like, personality before Vic got his hands on him.
I'm so sorry.
Like, I was actually thinking about that earlier today, about how, like, Grayson actually came from a matriarch instead of a patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he was the eye candy that would be married off to somebody, which kind of still makes sense for his personality, but he was an a-hole.
Hey, we talked about something that you still need to draw. And
Which
that's,
one is that?
well,
I have a lot.
kind
I have a
of
lot
in
of
line
things I
with.
need to draw.
I know. Kind of in line with your whole, like with what you mentioned with the society Grayson came from, because you said that it was originally based off Moroccan culture. So you said you needed to draw Grayson in that style of noble wear.
Yeah, that's right. My old DM was like a world traveler kind of guy, and he like spoke 6 languages, and he would always mess with us.
Nice.
Like when he would have a character that spoke Elvish, he would speak in French, like completely in French, and we're like, I don't know what you're saying.
Makes sense.
Sorry, I don't have Elvish.
Yeah,
equipped.
I don't. And he just kind of like go back and forth between all that and just mess with us. But yeah, as a character, Grayson's hometown where he grew up was based off of the Blue City in Morocco. So a lot of his like noble attire is very Moroccan and like Arabic and things like that. And I used to draw him that way, but I don't anymore. Now he's very like Pride and Prejudice, Victorian, fancy.
So that's also my fault because I introduced Lynn to Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
And also I introduced Lynn to Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, Howl's, yeah. Howl's so good.
Yeah. Disaster Wizards, my vice.
You love them. You love bougie disaster wizards.
Yeah. Yes, I do. But like. Any other questions?
I don't know. We'll see what chat has. I was going to comment that. What?
Ask me anything. I am an open book, or my characters. Like I said, I have an explanation for every single detail.
Let me come up. Wait. Okay, wait. I also have to remember that we are live, so I can't ask two.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, sure you can.
Okay. Okay, so my assumption, I'm gonna lose like 90% of the people here.
Oh no.
We actually have not taken a break yet. I don't for the podcast, but so okay. I'm gonna lose 90% of y'all, and then I'm going to re-entry like 3 of y'all in super duper. Okay, so Grayson most likely would be a power bottom, I assume.
Grayson is a dainty man.
Okay. Oh, so is he like a frick? What's the word?
I will say this. I will say his original character, he was very aggressive.
Okay.
Like he was not a nice person. He was a noble who could not like wrap his head around like why other places didn't recognize him as being as a noble.
I mean, talk about how he got his eyebrow scar.
Oh, please.
Yeah, he got his eyebrow scar because in his original campaign, he went to a different town that wasn't his city where he came from, and the DM said, the further Grayson gets away from his noble town, they're not going to recognize his his family sigil, and he's not going to have that respect. So, which makes sense. And he was in a town, and he was mouthing off to a shopkeep, and the shopkeep just got real sick of him and just whacked him in the face, and that's how he got his eyebrow scar. Also, fun detail: he pierced his nipples when he was in military school.
Of course he would. Of course. So,
of course he did. That's
Grayson moved into the second level.
That's his arcane focus, obviously.
It's not his arcane, but he's not that guy from Kill la Kill.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Could be his arcane focus. No, I thought we agreed that was happening.
Oh, I have a question that's probably game breaking.
Yeah, do it.
What is Addie's original color?
Addie's original.
If Addie takes a bath.
Well, his original skin color is just like Irian's and Jaeon's. It's like he's very tan. But his green skin was actually something that I decided to do because I saw another Spores Druid online somewhere I talked to the creator of it, and their thing was that their spores druid was a human, but they were green tinted because they had a symbiotic relationship with the mold and moss around them. So it kind of just kind of infused with their skin and turned it green. And I really liked that. I'm like, that's a really cool detail. So I'm gonna give this dude green skin.
So
I did.
So is Addy basically now, if Addy was dumped into that Lamash to water, will his skin turn the original color?
No,
or
it
will
won't.
just still
It
be
won't.
green?
No,
It'll be a
it'll
green
still
boy
be green.
forever.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll still be green. If he for some reason were to stop being a spores druid, it might kind of start to go back, but as long as he is an active spores druid, his skin will remain green.
It's
And
good to know.
So
Just-
it's his skin, not like he's a little mossy.
No,
It's
his skin.
legitimately his pigment.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't scrub it off.
to the attest to how good D&D is with numbers, because I've done this before. I'm like, why does the first thing that ever came to my head, and this will relate to Spores Druid in a second, is like, why are cheetahs land speed this much per round? So I did like quick Google search and did the math. I'm like, oh, this is how fast they would run. Like this is their max speed, so this makes sense that this is their like combat every 6 second like land speed. Like, okay, cool. And then a bigger question came to one day when I was like, why is 20d6 the damage that you would take from fall? And since Cindy knows a lot about math, we did all the mathematics, and like at a typical speed, you would typically hit the ground at this velocity, and that would translate to this many d6. And I think to keep this game mechanic simple, it also is every single round of lava, you do the same thing. So we started talking about like different D&D classes, and the intriguing one was, because at the times when Lynn was joining, was Circle of Spores. And we talked about the specific bacteria that would grow around someone and how you can harness it. And since her field of studies is microbiology, specifically with bacteria, it's fucking scary how accurate sometimes D&D can be to the real world and how they translate it to numbers. Just so you guys know. It's creepy.
They thought about it.
They thunk about
Somebody
it.
sat there and had the time to think all of that out.
Yeah.
I wish I had that free time.
So every single time the
Technically, you do.
do you?
Not for numbers. I don't give my free time up for numbers.
Numbers, they gotta pay for that.
No way.
When you literally tell me that you sit and think about things all day.
I do, but none of it involves numbers.
I mean, numbers are dumb.
Numbers are a man-made thing.
Correct. Numbers are a man-made construct.
I mean, they are. There's also
I don't
the
subscribe to that.
one
Numbers aren't real.
true
Numbers suck.
universal thing that we can equate throughout all languages, and that is
Can we just ban math forever?
no.
Yes, please.
Math's good.
No,
Math's
hate math.
important.
and they're gonna
I don't
treat
need it.
So Jesus, what were you asking about Gray earlier? I heard a little bit about that.
Something. Fuck, I forgot. Something about him being a power bottom, and then I assume it had to do with this spinning left and right. I don't know.
Listen,
They both.
So
it's a very balanced relationship.
I was gonna say electricity, like is
Elasticity.
electricity. It's a thing. It's a thing. I'm assuming that D&D has healing potions that can like make things go back to their formal youthful.
We don't
self.
talk about the healing potions.
Say this.
We've incorrectly
He-
used healing potions in some role plays.
He is a conjuration wizard, and he can make a copy of himself if he needs to.
Of course. Why?
Yeah.
Why would I tire myself out for this? Why I can just have you do
Why?
it?
Why do that when I literally can just cast mirror image and make 4 of myself?
The other non-gross question, like not that it's gross, but whatever, you know what I mean, is what was Grayson's impression when he first had to move to Hell? Because his husband literally cannot leave that plane of existence.
screaming and then sweating and then complaining.
Look, I'm doing
Pretty
this
much.
for you.
It was fun at first when I could use it to like open my pores and do like facials, but now this is just too much.
I am hot and I am sticky and I don't like it.
And that's why he made the demi-plane.
Yeah.
So is that why this was able to get out of the hell now? Because Grayson complained so much, the manager of
Yeah, he complained to management. And Asmodeus just went, just get the fuck out.
Just stop. Like,
Please leave.
Just fucking leave. Just get out.
Leave. Oh.
It's just like, I'm giving you permission to leave because your husband is driving me up a fucking wall. I can't think. Get out.
This is like, don't leave me with him. Take me back.
Oh.
What?
I love Gray. Gray's so much fun.
I love Grayson so
Grayson
much.
is a very good character. I do enjoy Grayson.
He's fun. He's
a
a
little
fun.
question. Now that basically Grayson kind of retired off for the Horde of the Dragon, or what's the actual game called?
Yeah, the actual
Rise of
campaign. That
Tiamat?
Grayson, yeah. Well, it's
Horde.
so Horde of the Dragon Queen is the first half of the campaign, and then the second half is called Rise of Tiamat. But the entire campaign is called Tyranny of Dragons.
Tyranny of Dragons. That's the word I was looking for. Now that basically Grayson is kind of retired off for the Tyranny of Dragons, what do you think he's doing right now?
He is on a boat with his family. Still pissed at Dis for stealing that mask and, running off with his turtle friend. That crusty old fuck, as Grayson called him.
Yeah.
Can't be
Makes
too
sense.
mad at this right now.
Yeah, but he's just with his family and trying to get the demiplane back in order, but also keeping his eye out. And I imagine he's feeding information to his sister and Janva about what he sees and like just the goings on. Also dodging his like any family that's after him.
Makes sense.
That's
It happens like you don't write.
You don't write.
You don't write. You don't send me a message.
There's a reason for that.
I want to see my grandbabies.
Yeah. That's what he's doing. I am sad that, I think Grayson's retired from games in general, which I'm sad about because he's fun to play.
You
But
just don't think you could ever pick him up again, even for like a small thing?
I think I would if I feel like he would be involved in it, but he's so, doesn't want to be a part of anything because he's better than that.
Yeah, fair. I mean, what if it was like an adventure for like young Grayson to have?
Young,
Like before.
it's hard because young Grayson in Horde and young Grayson that I have in my head from his original are completely different people.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be hard to kind of go backwards, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
If there was one way I could change it, I would like to go more into Grayson's, nobility and, how he was brought up. Because that's something I didn't really get to do in Horde. Because it, bypassed all of that already.
Yeah.
So I got to do a little bit of it in his original game, but to be able to tap into how he was brought up, his relationship with his dad and his mom and his sister, and the crap that he had to deal with growing up in a noble society would be entertaining to me, but not really for everybody else. So I think he's just gonna stay out of the picture, unfortunately.
Until you feel it's right.
Yeah, he might show up somewhere. But again, unless one of his kids is directly involved, he's probably not going to be involved. Because he'd be like, why would I want to do that?
The
I'm
mimosas
retired.
are not going to drink themselves.
Exactly. I need to be here with this, watching all of this. And honestly, it's the same thing with Addy. Adipus there. He's very much so I'm just gonna go do my thing over here. The only one I could ever see popping up again is probably Alistair, just because he's just so rambunctious.
He's just got things to do.
He's got love to spread.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Didn't you have a character concept that you wanted to play with at some point in the future?
I do. I have a bard that I have in my brain that maybe will happen. I'm not entirely sure. I have so many NPCs. I have like 12.
Oh shoot, that's a lot.
I
Yeah.
have 12 NPCs. Yeah.
I'm a DM and I
that's
don't
a
have
lot
that
of
many.
NPCs. Let me just shove all of mine under a rug somewhere.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like making a completely different character would also be like, oh god, here's another one.
Yeah, that's actually how I feel right now, because my sister plans on like visiting me in like a couple weeks at this point, and she's like, "Yeah, I really want to play D&D again. Let's do like a quick one shot." And I'm like, "Oh shit, who do I have for a one shot? Oh shit, I'm actually tapped on characters right now. What the fuck? Do I make a new person? Like, do I want to try?"
I can't do one shots because I will not leave them alone.
Yeah. That's how I feel, because like, I was like, ooh, I want to play Stranger. I'm like, no, Stranger's not good for one-shots. In my opinion, playing a wizard in a one-shot, I feel like there's no point, because wizards like to do nerdy wizard shit, like get into like lore and like explore stuff. So wizards are better for longer-running campaigns.
Sure,
especially if you're a
Yeah.
divination wizard.
Yeah.
Same with warlocks. Same with like any kind of like character that has to do with like deities or like patrons or otherworldly creatures. I feel like are better for like overarching campaigns.
I'm the same way. Like, I get too wrapped up in their story and their character development to do a one-off session.
Right?
So are you saying that Pineapple needs to make a return?
Yes. Did you know that originally this was just for a one shot? That I made the character but never played. He was a abyssal tiefling wizard with a rabbit as his animal companion.
I'm telling you, things line up, and it just
Yeah.
makes more sense for their relationship.
Yeah.
You just think this, like, yeah, I went to wizard school once.
Yeah. I learned how to summon a familiar. Found out my spirit animal was a rabbit. Got too freaked out about it, and then just went home.
I had a lot of questions about myself, and I just had to go process it.
This has got to go.
But look at him! Isn't he cute? He just holds up this little bunny.
Me and Vic just giddily asking you like really in-depth questions about Dis for the high school AU.
That was so
And
great.
I remember the bunny. It's like, oh my god, he's got a bunny.
Yay.
Yeah, Vic. Yeah.
There's a
Well-
little question at the chat. It says, "Does one shot actually exist?" Every
No.
time I try to run a one shot, it ends up lasting a month.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to say that I probably ran most one shots that stayed a one shot, and like you have to have an end, and everybody in the table has to agree that we're gonna play today, and I like to kind of tell the players what we're going like, not spoilers, but hey, you guys are going to go into a forest, and the boss is going to be a dragon. Like, we're expected to know what's going to happen, and we're expected to know that it's going to end today. And the DM should not be afraid to be like, oh, shoot, we agreed to midnight, and it's 11. I guess I'll skip the puzzle. I'll save that puzzle for a later day. And then we just go right into the dragon fight.
Yeah.
That's the only way how I do one-shots, and they work, and they stay as one-shots is... We agreed on this. I'm going to forget these things and just save them and use them later.
Kind of like on that Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
that we
Yes.
did.
I'm such a slut for story, so like I have a hard time connecting in one shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna play a one shot, I'm gonna just make a character that's strictly like, I don't know, dumb as hell basically. I'm like, I'm just doing this for the technical aspect. Conjuration. All right, let's just throw fireballs at shit.
I think the Alistair one shot was a very good one shot.
That was fun though. That was a lot of fun.
I
was a
did
fun
enjoy that
one-shot.
a lot.
I did kind of like playing as Carabao again because I miss being a rogue.
Hey guys, I think we should do another Alistair one shot.
I mean, we can.
It's like when my brain thinks like you should make another rogue character. I was like, no, I can't.
You can't betray.
Chill out.
There's only one rogue character in my heart.
I mean, that's.
I don't think I could ever make another wizard. No one can top Grayson except Dis.
Lynn, I think I want to do another Alistair one shot.
Yes.
We can eventually do it. We'll plan it out for the holidays.
Actually, I think I want to run it.
Oh,
Since I have
bro.
since I've got all the story stuff in my head, I think I kind of want to run this one.
Hey, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
I have plans.
I agree with you on the you can so my very first character, what Jeremiah said, my very first character was a gnome rogue, and T the Wise was supposed to be my first character as a rogue who is done adventuring but has collected so much loot. He was going to sell it to you guys, and because my original character Doomby, he maxed out his knowledge local, so knowledge local and sleight of hand. So he was a great thief and he knew everything. So that was what I was going to use to like help you guys learn about things. Is I heard this tale, and I have this +1 sword. I don't know how I found it, but here you go. I'll sell it to you. And then it just felt so wrong. And then I'm like, what if he has a cousin? All right. And then the cousin became T. And then it was like T the Wise, and then it devolved into what you guys saw. So I feel you on that. Yeah, T the Wise is... Yeah.
Brilliant.
I do.
Absolutely beautiful.
He's great. And no, as is some of the suspicions out there, I can tell you that T is not Asmodeus.
Look, I'm just saying, it was lining up, okay?
Yeah, it was lining up. It was suspicious.
Hey, Asmodeus works in mysterious ways.
T the Wise, and Asmodeus is the Lord that knows everything, so therefore...
Can you just imagine T having tea with Asmodeus?
Yes.
I would pay to see
I'm just
that.
saying, it would have been really fucking funny if, like, it's like it camera pans all the way down to the Nine Hells. You see this magnificent giant throne that belongs to Asmodeus. You just see T sitting on it. It's like, yes.
Yes.
Sitting there next to Frost doll.
It's like a throne meant for, like, a fucking 12-foot tall devil lord, and he's just like, yes.
There's a gnome sitting on it. Mustache bigger than him.
Yes, darling, yes.
That's what Dis's throne looks like, except it's got Grayson on it. With legs. It's laying sideways on it.
Oh my god. This is like, he likes to feel tall.
Like, to feel tall. All his kids are around him. Like,
Yep.
Say hello.
You're gonna say hello to my children, then you're gonna tell me what the fuck you want.
You keep this city in order. Tip top shape. Alrighty.
Oh boy.
I guess opening just for any last minute questions anyone wants to throw at Lynn.
Anything. Go for it.
So what would it be like for just to have a take your daughter to work day?
Oh.
Which one? Which one
Yes.
are you taking? Both?
He's taking both of them.
Oh god.
Imagine Kala's the one sitting on the little throne, kicking her little legs, and they're just like, I need to talk to you know, the Lord, and it's just like, well, it's her turn today, so you're gonna talk to her.
Sybil's not going around and bullying all the apps.
Oh no, Sybil's strictly on like the whole like, show me where all the torture chambers are now.
I need to inspect them. Like,
Carl is trying to
you're
plant
damaging
flowers.
them
This one in
physically,
chat.
but what about emotionally?
There is a question in chat. So
Yes.
favorite food for Lynn and for Lynn's OCs.
My favorite food, pierogies. Fucking
That's a
love
good
pierogies.
So
I
good.
also like potatoes in all of their forms are also very good.
Potatoes were fantastic.
I'm writing potato pie down on a list right now for things
Okay,
we're
good.
eating in Tennessee.
Chalky milk is a staple.
Chalky. milk.
Yes.
For the OCs, God, what was Alistair? Alistair's were what was that?
You have his
What
character.
was
He
that?
literally-
Oh,
His what?
it was the those little hot dogs and blankets, bro.
the little bros.
Little bros, yeah, he called them little bros.
The little
Hot
the little bros all wrapped up in bread.
Yeah, that was his favorite food.
Like, little cozy bros.
Cozy bro, yeah, cozy bros.
Bros.
That's what they're called. You gotta make some cozy bros.
We should make some cozy bros.
Yeah.
We're doing an Alistair cookbook. Fuck this. Webcomics cancel. We're just doing an Alistair cookbook.
You really should.
Alistair's the Cozy Bros. Adipasser's favorite food.
Alcohol's not a food.
Yeah. Probably like I wouldn't say he has a favorite, but if I had to pick, I'd say it's probably cheese.
Because you can talk to it first.
Yeah, you can vibe with the cheese first.
Hey man, I'm gonna eat you and help you chill with that.
Grayson's favorite food is nothing I can is something I
we're
can't
not allowed to say that.
I can't say that on stream.
Let's just say it's full of protein.
Is it gluten free?
But no, his food is something fancy. I don't remember. Vic, what's a fancy food you think Grayson would like?
My first thought was frog legs.
Frog legs.
No, I do know that he has a fondness for caviar.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Caviar.
He will instantly know if that shit was store bought and in a can. He'll know.
Yes. There was also a situation in the high school AU where he had ate like 14 burritos in a row.
I mean, mimosas I think count as a favorite food. I feel like he would be an eggs Benedict kind of guy. That's just my opinion, though.
That makes sense. I can see that.
It's a perfect brunch item, and it goes great with mimosas.
Oh yeah, that's right. Chicken and wine for Grayson.
Oh, the cockavin.
I just like the way it sounds.
Of course. I mean, that makes all the sense in the world. All right.
That zesty man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, a Lynn question, but this might be too long of an answer.
Don't care.
Who cares?
Lynn might talk about this until 11 o'clock. What's your favorite armor?
My favorite armor? I don't have a favorite.
What's your favorite period?
I don't really have a favorite period either. I'd say it's definitely European. I love the style of European armor. I have so many books.
I know you
armor in general.
Like, scaling on the Roman armor.
I do. It's not my favorite. The scaling's really cool, but aesthetically, I really do like the very large like chest piece parts and things like that. Basically, what I modeled Alistair's armor after.
So very classic medieval European.
Yes, I like classic medieval. I also
German in a way, I guess.
Yeah, Germanic. Yeah. Frat's armor is also a really fun one for me because I really like it when there's like very classical looking armor, but it's got like very intricate etchings in it, and it's show armor, not necessarily for combat. Like Grayson's armor.
I love Grayson's armor.
Fun fact: Grayson actually has.
But,
yeah, the context is awful, but he actually has a suit of armor that he wears. He has to wear. It's very pretty, but it's awful.
Yep.
The reason he has to wear it is pretty not fun. But yeah.
Rhoda's so nice.
I hate her. God.
I mean, if Lynn is going to battle, what is Lynn's go-to armor?
Depends on the battle. It's entirely circumstantial.
True, but also bold of you to assume I'd ever be in a battle. I'd be like, I'm not feeling this. Leave.
You're just like, I'm fucking going home. Bye.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved with this.
Clank.
Still wearing the armor though, like, yeah, I'm leaving.
If I were in like a traditional suit of armor, I'd just look like a turtle. Like, just be like legs and then the chest piece, and I just kind of like waddle away.
Is this why you don't want to do medieval reenactments?
Also, I'm too much of a sissy because I don't want to get hit.
Oh.
Like, don't hurt me. I'll just like turtle myself in the armor. Just lay on the floor.
I'm gonna bring my LARP sword and we're gonna kick each other's ass in the woods.
I have a LARP axe.
Oh,
Let's
nice,
do it.
nice.
I have a LARP double-sided axe that is as tall as me.
The question is, can
We're
you
gonna
swing it?
Not well,
We're
but I
gonna-
can.
So the point of our vacation is that we're gonna just go beat the shit out of each other in the woods now.
That's very cathartic. That I mean, do it. Hey, rage room.
Yes.
My therapist actually said that is therapy.
Yeah, it is.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
we need
That's
to
awesome.
do rage room 2.0 soon.
Rage Room 2.0.
I've actually I've found a workaround for the rage room because rage rooms are expensive, and I would love to
Sure.
financially back those businesses. However, I don't have all the money in the world, but I have all the rage in the world. So just find a friend with a free shed and just go buy a bunch of broken shit at Goodwill and just go nuts.
I mean,
Just go into someone's backyard, lay down a tarp, and go nuts.
Yeah, there you go.
We did that at my mom's house because we
Also
had this
wear
old piano. We had this old piano that she didn't want anymore. So she's like, hey, take this axe and just go nuts with this. And so I got to, like, chop up a piano with an axe. It was fun.
Nice.
I did that.
Highly
one
recommend. I could have
time,
charged people $5.
You could have.
just-
You could have made profit, bro.
Who? Okay, if someone said, hey, I need you to take this axe and hit a piano, would you do it? Of course you would.
Yes, of course.
Would you do it for
Absolutely.
$5? Absolutely. That's a steal.
Oh yeah.
Absolute steal.
So when are we opening our rage room?
You need to start
The
marketing
rage
it.
room.
Have this as the mascot.
Yeah.
Come
And are
on.
we gonna have a special disc weapon?
Oh yeah, we'll have an extremely heavy warhammer. That
I mean, I technically do have a warhammer I work out with.
hey, there you go.
There you go.
We'll just use that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Look at Matt, I just swing it
Perfect.
around.
Perfect.
Break windows.
Yeah, but I think that's probably all the time that we have. Because we can just continue doing this for the next 3 hours. But
Ever and ever and
yeah,
ever.
exactly.
We're so close to hitting 2 hours.
Are
We are 1 minute away from hitting 2-hour mark. So we
Well,
gotta
let me
chill
take
for
that
a
time.
minute.
Oh yeah, we
Allow
do.
me
Oh,
to
yeah,
use
yeah,
that
so it's-
time for people to please buy my book, Survivors of the Mutant God.
Yeah, there you go.
Please help this man keep the lights on.
Yes, because I got 2 kids in college, and one in college, and the other one, I don't know what the hell he. That.
I lost him. I don't know. Sounds like a disintegrated situation. I don't know where they're at.
So,
There's one of them's in school, the other one I don't know where the hell he is.
Right?
Okay.
so yeah, buy the book. Do
Okay.
it.
Go
We're
We're
to-
so
Yes,
close.
it's
Like
so
20 seconds till
20
2
20
hours.
seconds.
And if you do buy it, please put a ranking or rating. Put
Yes,
5, 12,
please.
or whatever.
Please,
Rate it.
please rate the book. Rate,
Review
review.
it.
Reviews literally save,
Yeah.
a lot
And-
of creators.
I entered the Hollywood Book Festival.
Oh,
Well,
2
that's
hours.
pretty cool.
we did it.
2
Oh,
hours.
there's 2 hours. Just end it right now.
Hey.
And
Well, that's really cool. You entered that festival. That's awesome. I wish you the best of luck.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
But
we've
alrighty,
done
guys.
it. We've reached 2 hours.
We've done it. So all the links for all of our stuff is down below for the different YouTube channels that we do, all our social medias, Tickety Talk, the Instagrams, the Twitter, Patreon for both Alistair and us. Also, you can read the Alistair comic, which is just free on Webtoons, merch.
It is literally free. You have no excuse.
Yeah, it's just free. Go do it. So we have a lot of content. Go support all of it. Become a super huge fan, and one day maybe we'll ask you questions. Who knows? But no, it's just Lynn. One special.
Sorry, you have to fill out our friendship application, and then there's an interview process.
I take half your soul. It's a whole process. It's this entire
It's the
process.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Wait,
Lynn takes you into the woods, and you never return.
Yeah.
Well, you return just you.
Who is the you?
wait. They only took Jesus. You only took half of their soul.
Yeah, the other half goes to Matt. Like it's an odd. All right. It's
That's not what you.
You need to change the frequency on that channel
It's
because I'm
like-
telling you that's what's happening.
I know. Oh, speaking of which, and I'm saying this live, there's another theory. The Wednesday group. The theory is that Marlene is feeding information to Matt.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Which I can totally see that.
Oh god.
Matt's just like, hey, I got some chips for you. She's like, bet. What do you want? All right, guys.
That little thing.
Yeah. Okay,
right, we're
we love
leaving.
you. Please be safe. Please take care of one another. Adios.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.